November 2004, off the coast of San Diego. A training exercise has begun. The USS Nimitz supercarrier, the largest aircraft carrier in the world, designed for one purpose: to infiltrate and annihilate enemy forces.
The Nimitz is one of the largest ships we have in the U.S. Navy. It's so big, it has enough firepower to basically take over the entire country. Add to that the Nimitz.
Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins here. We got a special guest today, John DeSouza, retired FBI agent involved in the counterterrorism unit, and he had the major stories that we want to go over today in regards to his experience. They based the X-Files, the first season, on his association with some of the cases that he participated in while he is in the FBI. Paranormal cases that still can't be explained. We're going to break it down in some incredible new information that John DeSouza is going to be sharing with us on Third Phase of Moon. John, welcome to Third Phase.
Oh, Blake, it is great to be here with you. I am so happy to be on Third Phase of the Moon and to be with you guys, another Cousins Brothers production. It is awesome to be here, and the work that you guys are doing is so very, very important that it's just an honor to be a part of it in any way I can.
I appreciate the kind words, John. We've been talking for a while on the phone behind the scenes in regards to what's going on in today's world, but let's start it off in the beginning. That the X-Files, the first season, was based on your story, but you were telling me last night that they stopped doing any more on basically your story, John DeSouza, for the first season, and they discontinued this. Why would the major network change the direction when they started out with the first season of X-Files?
Well, what occurred was way back in 1993, I had work that I was doing in the FBI, and I kept a notebook. It's called an OTB book, off the books, notes, off the books, things that weren't really put in FBI files, and yet I still had to work them. And so I kept notes of that, and I kept my OTB book. And at some point, some FBI agents that were retiring took my OTB book, and they went to Hollywood to be consultants for movies, something that's often done. Those notes were basically provided over to people doing these shows. And so Chris Carter put up the first season of the X-Files. And what happened then was we had bosses from the FBI that recognized some of my cases going up there. And they were very upset. They called Chris Carter, and Chris Carter talks about this today. They called Chris Carter, I was there as well, and they questioned him on where was he getting his material for these cases that he put up in the first season of the X-Files. And there was a lot of back and forth going on there. They made some threats. They let Chris Carter know that they might shut down his show. And then Chris Carter asked them for more specifics on the cases that they were talking about. And eventually they told Chris Carter, okay, just go on with your show. They questioned me on whether I provided anything directly to Chris Carter, and I was able to say, no, absolutely not. I did not provide anything directly to Chris Carter. So I was sort of off the hook, and Chris Carter was told he could go on with his show, but he just had to use some different material. And so that's what he did, and the X-Files continued. And but I, as a result of that, I was kind of excoriated because they knew how much interest I had in the X-Files. And after that, I was called the X-Files man, or X-Man for short. And that kind of stuck with me there at the FBI. It was not a happy thing at all.
Yeah, it's unfortunate sometimes when they're onto something that works so perfectly, and then they kind of change the narrative and the whole idea of what the original idea was to begin with. Now, let's get to what's going on right now. We released our documentary, Countdown to Disclosure, the secret technology behind the Space Force, but what's going to be happening in the future is this other countdown to disclosure by the government. Do you think in the next 100 days, when they're supposed to be releasing or obtaining some kind of information, that we're going to get something relevant, something that we have never known before, maybe some slight disclosure?
Yeah, we are going to have some kind of disclosure revealed to us, but unfortunately, it's not going to be to our advantage. It's because this group that's doing this disclosure, their version of disclosure, it's not going to be good, and it's not going to be to our advantage. We have two groups that are going right now. We have a group that is associated with the big media, and with parts of our government as well, and they are revealing alien technology to us that is designed to scare us, to make us upset, like the great movie that you guys just released, Countdown to Disclosure. Exactly like Dr. Greer said in that movie, we have a group that is trying to gin up fear of alien visitors and of UFOs, what they call UAPs, or sometimes UATs, like a T, like Tom, for threat, unknown alien threats and unknown alien phenomena. They're trying to take over ufology and trying to show us why we should be scared of this national security threat. And so that group is going to be revealing stuff that's not going to be to our advantage. So that's something that we need to be concerned about. However, there's another group that is trying to reveal alien technology that is going to be to our advantage. They're trying to reveal med beds and many other wondrous, amazing things. But they have to do it very carefully because we have this contention between these two groups that are doing this at this time. And that's what we're facing right now. And that's what you guys covered so well in your movie, in the Countdown to Disclosure.
Yeah, appreciate that, John. You know, it's interesting because there is some kind of faction between others, and sometimes UFOs even get political, which is crazy to me. Shouldn't we all be kind of going towards one goal? Why politicize the UFO phenomenon in any way? And it seems to us, we have a hard time. We struggle to get the major media's attention with the information that we're receiving from the public. Have you had the same kind of this wall of where the media doesn't want to bring in the public's information?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's the most common question. Why are they doing this? What is the reason? What benefit do they get that to misleading us, to trying to gin up fear in the area of ufology? What is the reason? Cui bono? Cui bono? Who benefits? And the answer is this: they have a conglomerate of big media and corporate interests, and they're all working together because they are leading us towards their great goal that they have, which is leading us towards fake alien invasion. The ultimate unifier, the ultimate thing that is they believe is going to bring humanity together under their yoke, under their power. And that's what they're leading us towards. That's what they want. And the problem is that fake alien invasion isn't as nice as it sounds. It's going to be, only the aliens are going to be fake. But the technology that we're going to be attacked with is going to be real. All of our cities all across the world being attacked by this alien technology that's so far above us that we can barely even comprehend it. And that's what they're leading us towards. That's how they benefit, because they are working for their masters, their bosses, who want this fake alien invasion because everything else that they've tried has failed. And they need this in order to bring humanity underneath them in complete obedience, and that's what they're looking for. That's the benefit that they're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. John, let me ask you this, because Dr. Greer did mention that there is this false threat, obviously, and he knows for a fact that these aliens are no threat. They would have done something long ago. If this is the case, and there is this future false alien threat or an attack, would there be some kind of intervention by the aliens themselves, that they would intervene with this false narrative?
Well, let me tell you, the fake alien invasion is going to be done with help from malevolent aliens to create fake alien invasion, where they will not be presenting themselves. So that's because of what I keep pointing out to people in my books and in the work that I do, which is that alien visitors are not physical in the way that we are. So they can appear physical for short periods of time, but they're not really. And we also have benevolent aliens on the other side, who are probably going to do exactly what you just said, Blake, who probably are going to intervene in this situation, along with the white hats, that are trying to help humanity right now. And they are going to intervene. They're trying to intervene now they're the ones trying to provide us the good alien technology to help us, to uplift us, and to help us all the time. They actually do intervene all the time across the earth in situations and things, and we see those interventions sometimes. You guys probably could do entire shows on that. They are going to continue to intervene, and it's to our benefit. So we're very happy about that.
You know, there's always two sides to the story, and two factions, good versus evil. It just never ends that way. So I think that's just kind of the balance we live in this universe that we travel through. Let me ask you this, John. Once you retired from the FBI, some people say you're never out of the FBI. You must still have a lot of friends in the FBI and other intelligence services that you can still communicate with. What do people think about your theories? What your thought process in regards to this alien threat? Do they see evidence of it within the factions now? Is there any evidence that we could just, come forward with to, stop this whole false agenda?
Well, they in the FBI, they see a lot of the same things that I see, and they are aware of all of these things. And the falsity of a lot of the stories that we are presented with. I mean, going all the way back to NASA and how NASA is an agency set up largely to keep knowledge from us, not to share knowledge with us. Going all the way back to when our Apollo missions were stopped mysteriously. Back in 77, I think, back in 1977, around there. And NASA gave us no explanation, no reason. As a matter of fact, the two greatest powers on the earth, the United States and Soviet Union, back then, that both had very advanced space programs, and that the United States had allegedly already gone to the moon. And yet, both of these countries immediately stopped trying to go to the moon. And NASA has never explained that to us at all. Never did, and probably never will. So people in the FBI are on the inside of this information. They know what's going on. However, many of my friends in the FBI have the same situation as me, which is that we are not whistleblowers. We do not violate our secrecy oaths, but I can impart knowledge and information to people in a general sense, and that's because all of this information in the internet age, all of this information is public. It's pretty much public. It's out there, and it's just a matter of knowing where to look, like you guys. and being real investigators, finding it, and then showing it to people. You don't need to show secret information. There's no need, because the stuff is everywhere. It's out there. You just need to show it, find it, and show it, and have enough faith in yourself to know that you can know what the real truth is in these situations.
You know what? I want to let everybody know at Third Phase Moon, John DeSouza has been again talking with Third Phase of Moon, and he says that he's going to be coming on once a month on Third Phase Moon to give us updates and insights. So what we're doing right now is incredible, and the information you're giving us is insightful, and it's our pleasure to have John on Third Phase Moon. But now let's get to this next question, because you yourself have come out with the documentary, and it's heavy duty stuff and what you go into. Can you briefly tell us the name of the documentary and a little bit of the background that you participated in?
Yeah, my documentary is called 1,000 Pieces, and it's a short history of all of the malevolent parts of our governments, the terrible things that they've done since the 60s, since the assassination of JFK, because JFK was the one who said that he would take the CIA and basically break them to 1,000 pieces and scatter them to the winds. And shortly after he made that statement, of course, he was assassinated, many say with participation from CIA and many other places as well. So that's why we named that documentary after that saying of JFK. And we also have, in the movie, we also have various agents, various special agents, people from the CIA, people from other agencies. We have the brother of General Michael Flynn, and we have all the stories of persecution from these terrible elements in the government that have gone after these people, that have gone after them, made their lives incredibly difficult for just basically departing from the government, and no longer being a part of what the government was putting forward. A lot of these people, like myself, were not even whistleblowers. We were just people who said, we had enough and we just wanted to be out of this system. And for that reason, 1,000 Pieces is a very emotional documentary that tells the stories of these people, including Kathy O'Brien, the great Kathy O'Brien, who was a terrible victim.
Yeah, absolutely, John. It's an explosive documentary, and when I watched it, I was so happy to see some of the eyewitnesses that came forward and tell their side of the story. It was uplifting and again, explosive and enlightening, sometimes good and sometimes in a bad way too, because when you hear some of this stuff, it opens up your mind, and it opens it up in a way that you kind of see through the cracks of some of these mega entities that are trying to hide the truth from us. Now let's get to this, John. You providing us some exclusive clips in regards to the Tic Tac and the possible reverse engineering qualities of that. Let's share that right now.
November 2004, off the coast of San Diego. A training exercise has begun. The USS Nimitz supercarrier, the largest aircraft carrier in the world, designed for one purpose: to infiltrate and annihilate enemy forces.
The Nimitz is one of the largest ships we have in the US Navy. It's so big, it has enough firepower to basically take over the entire country. Add to that the Nimitz is always accompanied by smaller ships of all shapes and sizes. You're talking about a flotilla.
Housing over 6,000 soldiers, the Nimitz can launch one of its 90 deadly warbirds every 20 seconds. This is the US Navy at its most extreme. No one and no thing would dare cross its path. Until November 14th. A blip appears on the radar. An unknown object crosses the screen, pushing speeds at over 3,000 miles per hour. Radar operators assume it's a technical malfunction. But then, another object appears. And another. And another. The Nimitz goes into high alert. Not only are these foreign objects appearing near a Navy aircraft carrier, but they're also invading United States airspace. 2 F-18 fighters are deployed, led by Top Gun Navy pilot Commander David Fravor. With over 16 years flight experience and over 3,500 flight hours, Fravor had more qualifications than any other pilot in the United States at the time.
All right, John, can you give us a background on what we just watched and how you came up with this, the information behind this presentation we just looked at?
Yeah, you know, this is basically a recreation of what really occurred in 2004 when the government basically needed a place to experiment with these top secret weapons. I mean, that's what they were. They're incredibly advanced top secret weapons.
So let me ask you this, John. So when they say these objects are unknown in origin, they don't know what they are, basically, in fact, they know exactly what they are. Is that the case? Yes.
And let me tell you one of the big clues, since we're all investigators here, let me tell you one of the big clues on that is that with this operation that was going forward using the Tic Tacs, for a long time people were saying we need comments from the Pentagon, from a general at the Pentagon on this ATIP program, on the program that was following these drones, and we need to hear something. Well, finally there was a Pentagon, a Navy official who came forward, and you can show the statements. They went all over the world because, of course, the media was down with this statement that was made by this Navy spokesman. But right there in the information from the Navy spokesman, you can see that his title is, he's the spokesman for Vice Admiral at the Navy. But then if you keep looking at where he's from Department of Information Warfare. Information warfare, also called information dominance. All right, these are the people who are in charge of deception, obfuscation, and misleading with information.
Within days, internet commenters suggested the video might be the work of clever CGI artists or an elaborate hoax. But the nature of the footage and its release suggests otherwise.
Let's say, could it be a fake? Let's say yes. Okay, it's a fake. If it is something like CGI, then you have to consider that means that every single pilot involved is in on the fake. The people on the Nimitz are also in on the fake. People at the Pentagon who authorized this to be released are in on the fake. Either way, this is a monumental story because you're talking about either this is aliens visiting us with tech that we can't imagine, or this is a fake from the government that somehow has some extraordinary agenda going forward to make us believe in alien life.
To this day, the Pentagon has no explanation for the event, and the military's executive report assesses that the anomalous aerial vehicle was no known aircraft or air vehicle currently in the inventory of the United States or any foreign nation.
That's where the guy was from, and you can easily find his statement, and his statement just said, yes, this vehicle, this is an anomalous, unknown vehicle, and the Navy doesn't know anything about what they really are. That's all he said. But if you look at his title, you look at where he's actually from, basically he's in charge of lying to you. He's in charge of covering up top secret weapons experiments. That's the department he comes from, information warfare. And he goes in, and that's why the Navy knew exactly what these things were. The Nimitz commander also knew exactly what these things were. And that's why, despite the way that I made that recreation, there was no general quarters sounded on the Nimitz. there was no general quarters. It was just, they just went into a low alert situation, and then they sent out the jets to go check these things out. But they were, the whole thing was an experimentation, and now we know that these are most likely these are the A-24 military drones that are still under top secret use in the United States Navy.
You know, I hate to say it, I'm gonna drop it. There sounds like some fuckery's going on, and they're not telling us what's the real deal. There's a lot of this cloak and dagger and a lot of misleading information that's coming out, no doubt about it. You know, John, it's my pleasure having you on Third Phase of Moon. We're gonna catch up with you in about a month, and we're gonna be working on a documentary with John coming up in the future. John, any last words you wanna give our viewers at Third Phase of Moon?
Yes. I just want to say to your viewers that this movie, Countdown to Disclosure, I mean, people have got to see this, and they've got to spread this. This is the most important thing I have seen coming out in a very long time, because it explains the situation that we're in right now and going into the immediate future, because this stuff is going to continue, and we're going to continue this great struggle where we have this group that is spreading information about ufology to us and trying to control what we believe about ufology. And they are going to keep this up, and we're going to see this. We're going to continue to see this in the news. We're going to continue to see this in the mainstream media. But when we contact mainstream media to share something real about ufology, they're not interested. And that tells you the truth of what they're actually doing. Right there, that tells you the truth. They're actually working with an agenda with this giant group, and people have got to become aware of this. They gotta spread Countdown to Disclosure so that we can all understand this and be ready, because once they pull the final trigger on fake alien invasion, it's going to be too late. It's going to be too late. So we got to get up to speed on this right now.
Wow, I appreciate it. I'm humbled by just your review of our movie that we just put out. It really means a lot coming from you, especially, John. You be safe over there in Arizona. We're going to be keeping in touch. Do you have any website or links that you want us to share with Third Phase Moon? I guess we'll put it in the description.
Yes, I want people to check me out, my website at johntamabooks.com. Check me out there, and also check out my book, The Extra Dimensionals, which covers a lot of the same material from Countdown to Disclosure. And it's very important for people to see that and learn that stuff. That's what I had to say.
Wow, that's so awesome. Everybody, if you appreciated this exclusive interview with John DeSouza, give us a big thumbs up. Hit that notification bell to be notified when we do these incredible updates, these live interviews. You won't be disappointed. And if you've captured anything amazing in regards to the phenomenon, metapropulsion, on video, send it to us right here at Third Phase of Moon. My email is in the description below. Everybody, keep your eyes on the skies. Be safe out there. Blake Cousins. We'll see you next time.
I think it's terrifying. I mean, this seems potentially like one of the biggest stories of my lifetime. And I don't care if it's about UFOs or whatever you call it. Something that we don't understand is getting very close to our military aircraft.
The technologies related to energy generation should come out first.
This hybrid aerospace underwater craft is able to basically generate an electromagnetic field.
It is President Trump's belief that the United States must remain as dominant in space as we are on land and sea and the air. And your charge is to see to that mission with the United States Space Force.
I mean, there were 3 people on my team assassinated, and I was almost killed.
With a lot of people that would like to know what's going on.
It's a matter of national security.
But apparently, just recovered are off-world vehicles not made on this Earth.
The president will respond to the subject the way they want them to. There's a black box with all the technologies that would give us a civilization that's sustainable, peaceful, etc., and that's been around for decades.
Everybody's asking the biggest question in the world. Are we alone?
Look, it's holding, it's just stalled out there.
The narrative that's being launched, which is a false narrative, is that we're not alone and that those civilizations are a threat. The problem is that the public has to be informed and involved.
It could be a brief statement saying, hallelujah, I'm finally vindicated.
I'm not completely convinced they're gonna let this stay like it is.
But the people who are surrounding that level of our politicians and government are not told. Like the movie Independence Day, where Will say, let's go kick alien butt.
Third phase of moon.